Welcome back to The Price of Business. I'm your host, Kevin Price, talking to you about you and your business. I tell you, it's interesting times. We live in a very difficult time to be able to make contact and to really get to know the business people that are out there, and people's time is the single thing that they're inflexible about. There was a time where you could offer people lunch, and sure, I'll go out to lunch. I got to eat lunch anyway, so why not go ahead and grab a meal to talk about business or whatever. But if they don't know you, they don't want to go out to lunch with you. They know they're going to be sold, and so reaching those decision makers is harder than ever. And we've got a company that we're visiting with here today, Tom Peppe, his company. Which name are we going to go under? You got Validas.
Right. So Valados is the company.
Valados. I knew that didn't sound right. Is that Latin? That's Latin from something.
Yeah, we made up the word. It's
he made it up. But it's based on Latin.
It's a combination of a couple words.
Yeah, so it's got a Latin feel to it. Yep. So I was going to say, I took a little Latin. I don't remember it, but it sounds Latin-esque. So, but you also have this program that you call Save, Love, Give, and so I guess that's a subsidiary of your company.
We invented the technology. We got a patent for it that we have, and it was difficult because it doesn't exist what we do.
Yeah.
So we created Save, Love, Give, and it simply helps you save money on your cell phone bill. Mm-hmm. And then it allows you to take those savings or keep them, buy more Starbucks, or you can donate those to causes that you're passionate about. So we started with women's empowerment and microfinance. That's our first charitable partner that we've partnered with.
Okay, and give those names again. The charities.
The charity that we're partnering with is 7 Bar Foundation, and what they do is they facilitate loans to women in need for microfinance to end poverty.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
So
coming soon though is the Kevin Price charity, which we're not sure how that's going to help Kevin Price, but we'll let you know. But anyway, go ahead.
So the problem is it's wireless waste, right? In the U.S., it's a $52.8 billion problem, and it's all the money that we spend on wireless services that we don't use, and that's could be recycled. Mm-hmm. So if you look at it worldwide, it's a $1 trillion problem. So when you think about that money here in the U.S., you could solve major problems. So
help us, because I don't think most of us are aware how that's a problem.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I don't think I'm too busy to really notice that. Why is it a problem?
So your wireless bill's confusing. Everyone knows that. If you ask 100 people,
that's why I just pay it.
Right, and that's what everyone does. So, and that's true for consumers, small businesses, enterprises, all the way up the food chain.
Even business talk show hosts foolishly just pay it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, we saw that is the problem that we're trying to solve. We're trying to end confusion in billing. That's why we started the company, Todd Dunphy and I. And we were ex-wireless guys, and we saw this inefficiencies. And it's really around, the devices are so advanced and the billing is still very antiquated. And so that we have a piece of technology that can read call detail and show you where you can save. Everyone knows when they're have overage, because it's easy. You get a $300 bill, but nobody knows really. I spend 70, can I be spending 50? I have 5 phones, I have text, I have data. So that's with the technology platform that we built, and we call it Vera.
Okay. Now, let me ask you then, so when did you build that technology platform?
So we started the company in 2007. Mm-hmm. We spent probably the first 3 years really doing the beta, raising money, and doing all this, all the small company startup stuff. At the end of 2011, we got a really nice sized private equity round, which allowed us to really launch the platform, launch our vision, launch Save, Love, Give, and the last month we've activated, or we signed up about over 100, close to 90,000 users.
Okay, and you got started in 2000 and
we started in 2007. That's when we ended our sentence in the carrier world.
Mm-hmm. And so people come to the site. They come and check out the site over there at Save, Love, Give. What do they put in? What kind of information do they put? Do they fill prompts out basically? And then
it's very simple to use. To use it, you have to be with AT&T and Verizon right now. You have to be subscribed to online billing, and you have to know your username and password to your account. Go in there, you set it up very quickly. Put in your username and password, and we automatically go and get your bill, analyze it, and then give you 4 recommendations. And the key is that it's not, if you stop using it, it's looking at your usage and giving you the right plans based on your usage. Mm-hmm. And so what we've done is we think we've done a good job of closing the loop, because inside the application, we allow you to send an email right to your carrier that says, I want to make these changes. Please call me and contact me and make this happen. as opposed to you saying, now I have this information, now I have to go and call them. That's inefficient.
Right.
And no one wants to call into that call center. It's
Sure, absolutely. That's a fate worse than death, I think. Right. So how do you guys make money?
So we work with businesses, and believe it or not, we work with the carriers themselves. We do, a lot about mobile analytics. We do cost modeling. We do contract compliance. We do RFP management. We do, hey, I have a really large customer that I want to try to retain. We need to do an optimization. They have 20,000 lines, over 20,000 different bills. We can't analyze it. We need your technology to do it. So that's where we knew that we had something very powerful for the telecom industry.
Okay. And so you get paid sometimes from the businesses that use your service.
That's right.
Sometimes are partially from the carriers themselves. Mm-hmm. There's different sources of revenue for you.
Yeah, and on the consumer side, we're all about getting adoption, getting users. We really want to affect change in the industry. And the only way you do it is if you get a lot of people to say, "Hey, we're fed up with this."
So your sales team, they're out there hitting the actual businesses.
That's correct.
And what's the typical size business you're trying to hit?
So we can do any size business. The sweet spot for us is the customers that nobody's servicing. It's the small businesses, right? It's 200 lines and less. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But we do work with. We've worked with the state of California, and we saved them $12 million.
Yeah, so, how good that did. But anyway, yeah. Every little bit helps, but yeah, in about 2 years they're moving to smoke signals anyway. So
that's it. We have to have another segment to talk about California.
Yeah, California. I don't. That's just too depressing. I don't think I can afford the liability of people hanging themselves listening to that segment. But yeah, so that's cool. And of course, though, you're saving them $12 million, but you're getting a little piece of that entire action, I assume.
That's correct. Yeah.
That's cool, man. I like that.
It's no risk.
Another business I should have went to instead of radio. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, so it's for a state specifically, there's no risk. We go in and we put all the risk on us to try to find savings, and we work directly with the carrier. And when you look at it, everyone wants to try to make sure that the state pays the least amount as possible because it's tax dollars, right?
Sure.
So they're very cordial when we're trying to fix it because it's at the end of the day the people that are doing it's very confusing for them. And if they can save money on the deal, they like that.
Yeah. So right now, AT&T and Verizon. What's next?
All the carriers, all the U.S. carriers.
Who do you think you'll be adding?
Sprint is obviously next, and then T-Mobile.
Yeah. I'm on T-Mobile. I hate T-Mobile, but I feel like I'm held hostage. But anyway.
Well, that's the belief of a lot of people, right? They're into these contracts and they really don't have any direction, and new things come out and they don't know how to analyze it, and it's very difficult. And people
I don't have
just
time. I just don't have time. And I asked my producer Sigmund, and he says I don't have time. So yeah, we don't have time.
Well, there's 5 billion devices on the planet, and if I probably the majority of those are not real happy with the bill. So.
Go ahead. Speaking of Sigmund,
I just want to ask you real quick because I'm very intrigued by this. How do the carriers know what plan? To put somebody on, if say your bill's too high, you're tired of paying, and you're not using all of it. There's only a finite number of plans that these carriers have. So how are you able to get somebody? Is it just based on usage, based on minutes
It's based on the entire bill. It's based on usage, based on how many minutes you're using, how many texts, how much data you're using, and that's how we've built a recommendation engine on. That analyzes the call detail.
So how do you know what plans they're offering?
Yeah, so we have a database of plans that we've acquired that are publicly listed, available, and that's how we're measuring against.
Okay, so now typically, are you trying to keep them in the same carrier, or are you moving?
Well, that's real important because it's all same carrier.
Right.
Because there's other factors.
Because then their lives really
there's behavior, right? There's behavior factors. What phone do I like? Does the coverage work? No computer can predict that.
Right.
So we're looking at same carrier, how you can change within your carrier, and that's important for the marketplace. That's why we're very carrier friendly because we're not trying to churn. If you look at all the other services, put in your slider bar and get a new phone, and everyone gets commission on that. That's not what we're interested in.
Sure.
We want to provide analytics to the client.
Got to wrap it up. How do we get more information? Well, why don't you give the best website for them to go to?
SaveLoveGive.com. It's really simple.
SaveLoveGive.com. That's SaveLoveGive.com. Thomas Peppe has been our guest. Lots of fun, very interesting. Got a feeling we'll learn more about this as we go along. Thanks so much, Thomas.
Thanks for having me.
All right, when we come back, we're going to have more for you. Do want to remind you the best content here shows up over there at usdailyreview.com. While you're there, like it on Facebook, follow it on Twitter.